Hey, what's going on? Thanks again for checking out 5 Minute Major, a podcast about great people at minor hockey that are making an impact. I'm your host, John Levesque, and this segment is our first one. I invited a special guest to kick it off, ironically calling games today. He's an Orangeville Flyers alum, 7th round OHL draft pick from the 2000 draft year by the Sudbury Wolves, NHL Linesman, and all-around great person, Shandor Alphonso.
Well, first off, thank you. First one ever, 5 Minute Major podcast segment. Shandor Alphonso, NHL Linesman. I can say that, right? There's no licensing rights.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah.
You're good. They hire you. It's fine. We know each other from minor hockey. You're my son's coach 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Basic framework, right? I want to, obviously, this is an opportunity to share with everybody a bit about you, not just who we see on the ice. This segment, obviously, is people who are in hockey. People who are in hockey for the right reasons, people who have a really fun, exciting story through the sport. What's cool about the sport I found anyway, talking to folks, because I never played, but working and talking to people like you and other folks as well, is everyone has a really unique journey. You played for Halton Hurricanes, minor hockey in OMHA.
Yep.
Talk about your journey into the sport,
Yeah.
how you got introduced to it maybe, like how'd that start? You have an older brother?
Actually, we used to play a lot of road hockey on my street back on Meadow Drive. My parents still live in the same house.
No way.
And we played a ton of street hockey all the time. And one day the dads were there watching, having a beer. And the one dad was like, hey, he's pretty good. You ever think about trying ice hockey?
Right.
My dad grew up in Trinidad and Tobago and never skated a day in his life and never picked up a hockey stick. And he's like, oh, if he wants to try it, we'll give it a try. So that's how I got into it, through my best friend. We used to play road hockey all the time. Then we started with rollerblades and that's how I got introduced to the game.
That's awesome.
Watching the Leafs on Saturday nights, and it's just become a huge, huge part of my life ever since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So road hockey, you get on the ice as a little guy, 7, 8, 10 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
You're not the only one that plays hockey also. You have other family members that played also with you?
Yeah. So I started playing when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
I have a brother who is 4 years younger than me, and then I have another sister who is 4 years younger than him.
Oh, wow.
So they kind of followed in my footsteps and started playing. I have an older sister who never of any interest to her.
Right.
But I played, I played house league hockey. I actually started as a goalie, which is hilarious.
Remember that was Orangeville. Is that Orangeville Flyers?
Yeah, I started as a goalie, and then the getting scored on wasn't my favorite thing. I used to get pretty upset when that happened. I enjoyed scoring the goals more, I found, after a few years. But yeah, I played minor hockey in Orangeville for a few years.
Yeah.
Then graduated up to AAA for the Halton Hurricanes.
Right.
And you know what? I remember when I first started playing AAA hockey, I don't even think I thought of anything besides just the NHL, to be a player in the NHL. I've come to learn that there's so many other things you can do in hockey, and I honestly, I didn't even know the path to get to the NHL. So I remember I was 15 years old, and scouts would be coming to the games and they'd be talking to you, oh, we're from the OHL, and you really had no idea where the OHL was for me, because I didn't grow up watching the OHL. I didn't grow up going to games.
And the product was different then.
Yeah, my kids now know all about it and have been to games and have watched. I just didn't have that luxury when I was a kid. So when it came draft time and me getting drafted and this actually starting to be, I was like, I remember thinking to myself, holy, like, getting to the NHL is actually a possibility right now.
Right.
Like, I was a decent player. I was never the best player, but I was a decent player. But I remember thinking to myself, this could actually happen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So it was, played up in Sudbury for a few years in the OHL.
Yeah.
Had a shot, went to the Atlanta Thrashers training camp and played for them in the tournament out in Traverse City.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool experience, playing with a lot of guys who end up making it to the NHL.
Yes.
It was a wild ride, and just to see all these guys drafted, and then I was there as an invite. It was pretty cool, and then end up getting an education at Lakehead University, continue my playing career.
Yes.
kind of when I realized maybe the playing dream was done for me in the
Sure.
NHL. I went and got my education and
Yeah.
continued playing and played with some great hockey players and actually played against some players that ended up making it to the NHL still from the CIS. But yeah, after all the hockey and the great experiences and the great memories and a lot of great friends I still talk to today and still have today. I got into officiating and now I'm in the hockey world on the dark side, as you like to call it.
Talk a bit about like when you got into the sport, like just share a bit on for minor hockey. Talk about maybe a coach or something that was a great positive influence for you.
Yeah.
Sports are hard when you're playing at a very high competitive level.
Yeah.
You do need people, I think, to help shepherd folks along the way. And there are different people at different stages. So I guess for you, when you look through your minor hockey career going up to play at CIS, right? Is there anyone that stands out for you that helped it make that better or memorable for you as an experience?
I was real fortunate. I was my parents weren't big into sports, so luckily I did have some great coaches to kind of help me along the way. Brian McDougall, who is a local guy in town, is a guy who kind of early on in my career, he still runs his hockey school. When the kids were
for a bit, remember his
he
wife was
did,
giving him shit.
yeah, he did, but he's doing it again, and I remember, I went to his camps when I was young, and he kind of instilled like a good hard-nosed work ethic into me, and my kids have gone to his camp ever since. It's kind of funny, like the full circle where he had us and his kids all doing it, and we played in tournaments together. He was a big influence in my hockey career, just because he always demanded a lot from us. Made sure we were working hard, but he was a lot of fun and great with us at the same time. Guy. Yeah, he was a tough love guy for sure. But a lot of great memories being at his house with his kids and swimming in the pool, but then on the rink it was like time to go to work, and we excelled and did really well together. That's awesome. It was a lot of fun. Another great coach I can think of is Dave Sevret. Oddly enough, I work with his son now in the NHL, which is it's kind of wild how the hockey community is a very small community, and it's the refereeing community is even smaller. So to have someone that I grew up with playing hockey, he coached us for 3 years and was a big impact in my hockey career as well. Just, on and off the ice, how to carry yourself, how to be professional.
Yes.
I was very fortunate to have that kind of stuff along the way. And those guys were through minor hockey that just kind of, I was able to take with me as I moved along.
Yeah. There were a couple of guys that came out of McDougall too. There was a few other. Wasn't Giordano?
Yeah, the biggest one's Mark Giordano.
People know his name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's probably the biggest name to come through.
So talk a bit about how was refereeing introduced to you? Like, how was that on your journey? Like, you're at Thrashers training camp. You're coming to CIS. Like, how does it even happen?
Yeah, it was never an option for me throughout the whole way.
It's not like something that someone was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a ref."
No, it was one of those things where
you get out of being a goalie because you look like a shot on, and then now you're the ref.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's one of those things when you're a player, you hate the refs. Yes. The refs are what get in the way of winning. So I remember when it was first introduced, I was playing at Lakehead, and a friend of mine was like, give it a try while you're up there. You got a lot.
That's the ref there.
Yeah, this was a referee there. Yeah, he's like, give it a try. You have a lot of free time. You have class in the morning, then you have practice in the morning, then you have the whole day off. Give it a try. I was like, no, not interested at all. This sounds like a terrible option. I'd rather not have the extra money.
No,
I just don't want to do it.
Right. Forget it.
Yeah, and then I think I was going into my 4th year. At Lakehead, still no interest in officiating.
Right.
The NHL started this thing called NHL Exposure. So what they were doing, where they were trying to get players that had played at a decent level, trying to get them to just try officiating. So I went down to Toronto. Me and a buddy, actually my buddy, I'm going to see in Belleville, Andrew Brown.
Crazy.
We went down to Toronto. The NHL put us up for a night or two. I don't remember, and this was more of a classroom setting where they had slides and they were like, all right,
this is the pitch.
This is the job. You're on the road a lot. Are you guys okay with that? Yeah. This is the lifestyle. Are you guys okay with that? Maybe. I don't know. People are going to yell at you. You know, you have to have thick skin.
Totally.
You guys aren't used to this as players. Well, you are kind of from coaches, but this is not your norm. And then they were like, all right, this is how much you guys get paid. And everyone was like, whoa. I remember the whole room was just like, they had the pay scale up there. And I remember the whole room was like, holy.
They would have Googled it before?
No, it was never an interest for anybody in that room.
They're like, okay.
And then Bill McCreary was in the room too. And he was like, yeah, plus I just made another 54,000 reffing in the Stanley Cup Finals. Just finished Game 7, 54,000 extra. And we were all like, oh, okay, this sounds pretty cool.
Legit.
Yeah, we're like, you could roll like this. So that was my first introduction to it. Nothing ever came of it, really. I went back and finished playing and everything.
Yeah.
And, then I thought about it a little while later. My buddy got into it. The next year, he was in the OHL. He did 1 year minor hockey.
Wow.
The next year he was officiating the OHL.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
is that usually that fast or?
No, it's not. It's I think a lot of people wouldn't even have a chance to get to the OHL right away like that.
Yeah,
but he had played in the OHL.
Oh, cool.
Started officiating the very next year after his first year, and with 1 year experience.
Wow. Good for him.
He could obviously skate, knew the game well. And,
Sure.
And the NHL too, at the same time, at this exposure camp, they're like, hey, listen, if you're good, we'll kind of help you push you through the system.
Right.
So at the same time, we were like, oh, this is too good to be true.
Right.
So
No way.
my buddy gets into it right away. I go finish my last year of school. Next summer, okay, now he's making the OHL. I had signed a contract to go play in the Central Hockey League. And he's like, dude, you got to give this a try. So I turned down the contract, I told the guys, hey, listen, I'm not coming down to Texas.
No.
My other buddy who we're meeting up, I was supposed to room with him in Texas. And he's like, what are you, you're not going, man? Like, we're rooming together. What do you do? What are you talking about? So I'm like, no, I'm going to give this officiating thing a try.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's wild.
I get into officiating the next year. Same thing. I make it to the OHL.
Wow.
Officiating the OHL for 3 years. And then I got hired by the NHL.
Crazy.
After that.
So you were like U18 minor hockey, and then what's the step?
I started right from the little guys. I started, I had zero experience, so I was doing double A and single A hockey, but I was doing little guys.
Yeah.
And then I was able to do up to maybe U15.
Right.
Maybe.
They graduate.
Yeah, and then you have to go do a test, and they
Right.
certify, and then you can do higher levels. But my first year, I did very young guys.
Awesome.
And then the next year I'm lining in the OHL.
Nuts.
We're in a league that I played in not
the
that
Green
long ago.
Berets in the OHL too.
No, there was none of that. No, there was none of that.
always jokes you
and the coaches knew that you're a new guy, and they'd ride you a little bit harder.
Totally.
Yeah, it happens in the
100%.
NHL too. Yeah.
What do you think you would have done if refereeing wasn't there?
I don't know. I knew I always wanted to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Coaching never seemed like something that interests me at the time.
Sure.
Obviously now I'd love to be more involved with my kids, but the job requires me to be elsewhere.
Yeah.
But no, I was working for the Royal Bank of Canada when I was, trying to make it, grinding it out. I'd grind a whole day at work, and then I'd go get on the road and go officiate some hockey games. So I don't know what I'd be doing, but I don't think I'd be in hockey. And I'm really glad that that officiating came to my life, and it's been a little bit of a blessing. And I love the game. I feel it's the best game in the world. So it's been great to be able to stay in the game and do something I really, really love doing.
What excites you about the game today? Like, what are some things that you're seeing about it? And there's another side of the question too, some, I guess, pitfalls, or the other side of hockey too, right? Where it's not always awesome. And sports in general, I think competitive high-level sports there's always the friction of what that introduces, right? But I guess you're seeing it both from your boys coming up, right?
Yeah.
You played.
Yep.
You're also officiating at a high level. So I guess what excites you about the game? We'll start with that.
Yeah.
What's evolved? What's changed? What's exciting for you? And then we'll talk a bit about, what are some things that maybe folks want to look out for.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the game's in great hands. The game is heading in a great direction. Yeah. I look at kids now who are 10 and 12 years old, and compared to when I was 10 and 12 years old, these kids are way better than I ever was.
Right.
So the game, it has evolved so much. These kids are so much faster, so much more skilled, so much bigger. at such a young age. Yeah, so it's kind of excites you to see where the game is going to be in 10 years, but where the game is right now is incredible. I mean, the NHL has an incredible product on the ice every single night. It doesn't really matter who's playing. And then you go and watch these kids playing minor hockey, and the level that they're playing at is unbelievable. It makes you excited for the future when the game is already in such a great place right now.
That's a good point.
Watching minor hockey, you see a lot of great coaches and developing these kids and pushing them to find their potential, and it's just, it's in a great spot right now, and really exciting. Really love being a part of the minor hockey system, and love watching and being a part of the NHL too, because it's so exciting.
Totally.
Every single night, anyone can beat anyone. So the parity all around the league's great, and the parity within minor hockey and in the leagues, you see so many great games every night.
Yeah, as well. I think what's good about what you were talking about, I agree with you. So when I look at there's all these stats now that obviously Rogers owns. They promote all the great, viewerships, and the metrics are through the charts for the NHL. It doesn't matter and every division I found, every stage was getting more. The least, I love them. There's no way that we're going to beat the next level. It didn't matter who was there. The competition was just too good. Everyone was glued to the TV. It was phenomenal. I mean, you got taken out a bit on the IR.
Yeah.
What game was that?
I was working game 2 of the Toronto Florida series.
That's right.
And got taken out and tore my tricep.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to get surgery. I wanted to stay in the game. I had 15 minutes left in the second period.
Of course.
And Wes McCauley's trying to come in, and I'm like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm good. I just can't drop the pucks. Get out of here. And then I go in for the intermission.
Right.
Doctor comes in. He's like, you're done.
You're done. Yeah, shut you off.
He's like, Wes, get in there.
Get in there.
You're done for the night.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got an MRI the next day and had to have surgery.
That's it.
3 days later.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So now I'm on the mend and be ready to go for the season.
Yeah. So I would agree with you on your, observation of the sport. I think it's in great hands. I look at some of these coaches that are doing a great job, right, coming up, bringing up these kids. I love I think the product, like you said, in OHL is an example. I look at the draft. I've never paid more attention to an OHL draft in my life than this year. I think two of the boundaries, NCAA and with D1 and OHL, they're still figuring this out because guys are still signing and still going. McKenna is a good example, right? He's getting drafted 2026 guy, but he's going to Penn. I
find I being around the minor hockey, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
When you're playing, you're just playing, and you don't really see any of the off-ice stuff, and you're not really involved with any off-ice stuff. You're just playing and loving it and having a great time with your buddies. Now being on the other side as a parent, I see a lot. There's a ton of pressure on 8-year-olds to be amazing and to not make mistakes and to not and to win every single game and to score every single game. And it's like, okay, this kid is 8 years old,
right,
and we just need to pump the brakes and let him build the love for the game.
Yeah.
Just love the game.
Sure.
And then as the love is built, then the work is going to come in, and then you're just going to keep getting better and better and better. Yeah. But if you hate the game because mom and dad are saying you didn't do enough, and you're like, I'm 7. I'm 7 or I'm 10, whatever it is. It's like let the kid enjoy the entire process, and then it'll start just getting better and better and better. I find, and you see it now where these poor kids are being pushed and they're dreading the ride home.
Yep.
And
or
they're dreading the ride home, and then a tournament comes and they're just dying to go in someone else's car.
Oh yeah. Because
they just don't want to sit with mom or dad and hear about all the mistakes they made.
Right.
And it's like, listen, a lot of times, and listen, I had to have this put in perspective for me too at times when the kids were first really young.
Yep.
My wife said to me, she was like, listen, their coaches already point out all their mistakes.
Right.
You don't have to do it too.
No. Was your dad and mom like that with you?
My mom and dad never said a word about hockey.
No.
Never.
They didn't know it, I
Never.
guess.
They didn't know. And that's the thing. I was like, I have something to offer here to my son.
Right.
And she was like, no, I get it. But maybe do it in another setting after he just got yelled at by the coach because they lost or because he made a mistake. Mm-hmm. Let him now just mellow out and enjoy their car ride home, listen to music, talk about anything else,
Chill, right.
and then talk to him tomorrow about the game when he's calm and not so upset about losing.
Him bring it to you or something too.
Yeah, so it's been a learning process for me.
Humbling.
Because as a parent, as a player, I never had that. My parents never said a word. They left me alone.
Right.
They didn't know.
No.
And which was probably better. Like I did well in hockey and went as far as I did, probably because I never dreaded a car ride home ever.
Yeah. So enjoy the game, have fun.
Yeah.
Right? Not so much pressure on these kids.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you can just say they did a good job.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
That's it.
That's enough. Yeah. So I'm learning too, but along the way, that's why it's funny. My brother got into coaching. I got into officiating. My brother got into coaching.
Okay.
He doesn't coach anymore, but he got into coaching, and he said, he's like, these parents are ruining minor hockey for me.
Yeah.
Because he was a really good coach, really good player.
He's a good player too, right?
Very good player. Yeah. And once he got into coaching, he's like, these parents are ruining it. They're ruining it for these kids. They're ruining it for me. Like, I don't even want to do it anymore. And
coaching and refereeing, like, no one wants to do it because the parents are like dumping on these folks, right?
There's a lot of pressure on everyone to be perfect all the time,
right?
And it's one of those things where the game is built on mistakes, right?
Yes,
if you don't make a mistake, it's like it's a 0-0 game,
right? Yeah.
What fun is that to watch? Yeah, it's like, no, these kids need to take chances and need to make mistakes, and then when the other team makes mistakes, capitalize on it. It's like it's a whole process, and people just. A lot of people never did it. So they don't know. And they think it should be a certain way.
Yes.
And when it's not, they get angry. And it's like, listen, just everyone needs to relax. And let their kids enjoy the game and have fun. And like I said, build the love for it.
Yes.
Because that's where the magic comes, when they love it.
The only thing I have left is really a couple of questions on, obviously, anything else you want to add or share. But I'm just curious why you coach and why you develop and train kids. We talked about it a bit upstairs, but you normally in the off season do, I forget what
so we normally do a summer camp. It's a week long, and it's called Elite Ice. And we've done it probably for 7-8 years now. But the original reason why we started doing it was just to help kids get ready for tryouts. A lot of kids try other sports and do other sports and don't really hit the ice at all. And then they'd come to spring tryouts, and that'd be the first time they were on the ice. So I remember thinking to myself, and my business partner Scott Lawson, I thought to myself, listen, like let's just do a camp. We both are busy with officiating during the winter. But I thought to myself, let's do a camp to have help these kids get ready for their upcoming season. Help the kids get ready for the team they're hoping to make in the fall. A lot of things have changed since then. Tryouts are now in the spring.
Right. It's not September anymore.
Not September. But originally, this is why we started. We wanted to help kids get ready for their upcoming season. Get ready for the teams that they wanted to make. Put them in the best position to make the team they wanted to make.
Right.
And my kids included. I wanted to make sure I could help my kids as well, because they play lacrosse in the off season. And once the hockey season comes, they're excited, but I wanted to make sure they were ready. So that's why we started this. Awesome. We've been doing it every year. But yeah, the reason why we got into it was just to help out the kids in the community, make sure they're ready to go, and make sure they can be their best selves on the ice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So and the reason why I love coaching is because I just want to be a part of it with the kids. Love being out there, but also just love seeing the kids excel, right?
Totally.
And I like to be out there and be part of it, because I can just go out there and have fun and just tell them how awesome they're doing, and just joke around with them. And I'll jump into a drill every once in a while, and a kid's missing, I'll jump on a line. We'll score about 4 or 5 goals, and then we'll give the defenseman a hard time, or the other line's a hard time. And it's all about, for me now, because I don't have to be that hard-nosed guy. I can just go out there and have a blast and make sure the kids are having a good time too, because honestly, that's what it's all about. We talked about it earlier. They might not all make it to the NHL. They probably won't all make it to the NHL. But when they can look back and think of how much fun these years were for them, and how much of a great time it was, that's what it's all about.
Well, it's the reason I called you was one of the first people for this segment, because Hudson will never forget you as one of the coaches, right, with that year with Caps. So. As for all these things that you say too, right? You're in for the right reasons. You love the game, right? You want to pay it forward to these kids. I love the readiness piece. I never thought about that. Like you get a good call out. Like so many kids play other sports. Like they want to go to camp and be awesome. You know what I mean? Set them up for that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's all I had. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I mean, yeah, that's great.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks,
buddy.
John.